Hi guys, my name is Casey Becker and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about domestic abuse. So what is domestic abuse? Well, domestic abuse is a possessive behavior and crime that can be life-threatening. It affects all kinds of people in every community. A lot of people might not realize that they are a victim of domestic abuse, or sometimes they don't want to admit it to themselves because it can be really hard to admit that you're in a relationship with someone who would do that. Some signs of physical abuse to look out for may include things like shoving, punching, slapping, scratching, strangling, attacking, burning, biting, things like that. Some signs of emotional abuse may include manipulating, yelling in your face, name calling, interrupting you, telling you what to do, being overly jealous, etc. These are the small things that you don't really realize could be domestic abuse. Things like being overly jealous, you wouldn't expect that to be considered domestic abuse, but it's the small things that lead up to the big things. Those are the warning signs for down the road when it will become physical and could even become deadly. So those are the things you really want to look out for. Some domestic abuse statistics. 20 people per minute are abused by a romantic partner, and there are more than 10 million people physically abused in just 1 year. 1 in every 3 women and 1 in every 4 men experience physical abuse from an intimate partner in some way. That's insane. That's a lot of people. So when it comes to homicide and domestic abuse, approximately 72% involve a romantic partner and 94% of those victims are female. So for our project, we conducted an interview first, and we interviewed the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And some of the things we learned are, first, this organization was founded on September 22nd, 1978, and it works to help victims and survivors of domestic abuse by fostering rules and guidelines to protect them. This organization's main goal is to help victims who have suffered domestic violence and to never leave their side so they never feel alone. And their hope is that their work will show an influential change in our society where there will be no such thing as domestic violence. And if there is some domestic violence, it won't be worldwide. So next I'm going to show you guys our PSA and what we did for that. Are you or someone you know a victim of domestic abuse? Domestic abuse is a possessive behavior and crime that can be life-threatening. It affects all kinds of people in every community. Domestic abuse can come in physical or emotional forms. Some signs of physical abuse include slapping, punching, shoving, biting, scratching, strangling, attacking, and many more. Some signs of emotional abuse include name-calling, manipulating, cheating, interrupting, being overly jealous, telling you what to do, and many, many more. Lots of people do not realize they are in an abusive relationship because they do not want to admit to themselves that their partner might be abusive, or that their partner isn't who they thought they were the whole time. This is why it is crucial to know and pay attention to any signs of domestic abuse. 1 in every 3 women and 1 in every 4 men experience domestic abuse from an intimate partner. 20 people per minute are abused by a romantic partner. More than 10 million people are physically abused in 1 year. If you think you or someone you know may be a victim of domestic abuse, get help right away. Domestic abuse can even go as far as stalking, sexual abuse, and in some cases can result in death. About 72% of homicide and domestic abuse involves a romantic partner, so don't waste any more time and call today. I hope you guys enjoyed our PSA and found some helpful information in it. I chose to do this PSA because I believe a picture speaks 1,000 words. And even though these images are very brutal and they're horrible to look at and they can be very hard to look at, they're very sad. I believe that they really show how extreme domestic abuse is, and it kind of sheds light on that problem and really brings you into it. I put these pictures in hoping to catch the viewer's attention so they can become aware of how serious domestic violence really is. The main message of my PSA is that you may not always realize you or someone you know is a victim of domestic abuse. It can really catch you by surprise sometimes, and it is important to watch out for yourself and for others and to always know the warning signs so you can be alert. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that my presentation was helpful and informative, and I hope it got you guys really thinking about domestic abuse and keeping your eyes open. Thanks.